Good evening. Today is September 18th, 2025, and this is the public meeting for the Environmental Advisory Council. Tim, are we good?
Yep.
All right. Call to order, roll call,
Sheila Sullivan,
present,
Janet Pravanis,
here,
Cindy Mahalo,
here.
Dave Blue, Joe Pinto. I am also here.
Great.
Moment of silence and pledge allegiance.
Before we start.
Russian the gun. Actually, I think we should keep in mind those police officers.
Oh, absolutely.
that were
Yes,
Killed
right.
earlier this week. That's been terrible.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, item number 4. Make a motion considering the agenda as presented. Motion is made by Joe Pinto, seconded by Janet Pravanis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great. Motion, number 5, public comment for agenda items only. Any public comment for, okay, no, seeing none, we'll move to item 6, which is the minutes. A motion was made by Joe Pinto to accept our minutes from our August 21st meeting, seconded by
Second.
Dave Belushi. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Awesome. Land development review, discussion, Village at Four Seasons, which is located at 0 Gradyville Road, land development. As you know, we've seen this property many times. It's 21.78 acres. The applicant is proposing 12 single homes. Tonight, the applicant, I know, is looking for some issues regarding the lot number 2, 3, 4 with less frontage and lot 4 being a flag lot. But we're going to focus specifically on the environmental issues. And Cindy, in our letter dated May 25th, and then we followed up on the plans there, we submitted a EAC comment letter on this property. So I think what we're looking at is, although the applicant has changed plans, Tim, can you bring up the plans so we can see them?
We also submitted letters in November of 2024 and July of 2025.
Yes, yes.
So this would be the 4th comment letter if we write another one.
Yes, but the property in August of 2024 was just, and I'll quote Dave Petrosis, that was just a line that they moved the property lines. And that was done with no plans were submitted regarding development. So that was the August. So
That's correct.
correct. All right. Tim, can you bring up the revised plans? All right.
That part of this document?
Yes, if you, page 3, I think we looked at originally, okay. There you go. And if you could enhance that a little bit. All right, the issue that we've spoken with regard to the property, and the main issue that we've always discussed is the use of the riparian buffer. Cindy, you want to discuss that about our May 22nd concerns and how they still hold true to today?
Well, as you pointed out, Sheila, there is a consideration about a question about the timeline and about the fact of when did this applicant truly submit a plan with regard to the fact that the township had adopted a 100-foot riparian buffer. The township adopting the 100-foot riparian buffer puts it in line with the comprehensive plan, which was compiled on the basis of best practices, research, and public input, and casts a vision for how the township wants to protect its citizens, their property, and natural resources. And the township and the Board of Supervisors, in their wisdom, decided to extend the riparian buffer from 50 feet to 100 feet. This is a definite improvement, much needed, and actually still falls short of what environmentalists and natural resource protection experts advise. However, it is a big improvement. This plan, the most current version of the plans that we have been asked to review, still do not contain that 100-foot riparian buffer. And we think that is the major shortcoming in this plan. And because of that foundational decision in dividing the property up into 12 lots and subsequently encroaching on wetlands and asking for different variances and reducing lot sizes, all that is predicated on this 50-foot riparian buffer, which we feel is insufficient.
So I guess what we're looking at is we had asked in our May 22nd letter to the Board of Supervisors for legal determination. And the reason being is the application that was submitted in October was followed up with Andy Resnick's letter dated November 18th, with all of the documentations that were missing, and it was not a complete application. No further action was taken until May of 2025 when we received the revised plans, and they did address some issues, but in fact, again, did not get to the core issue about the 100-foot riparian buffer. So we're looking at, although they're going before zoning tonight for a zoning issue, and all they're asking them to do really is to decrease the frontage and the sidage of 3 properties and to provide a flag lot opportunity. We believe that unless the 100-foot riparian buffer is built into the design, there might be some properties that might not be able to be developed. If you look at right back here, we'll see. Oh, sorry.
You should take the mic.
Okay, property number 12, right now, you'll see this is the riparian buffer and this is at the 50-foot. If the 100-foot was increased to what it should be, more than likely that property would be gone. We noted previously that the elevation points of this were far significantly lower than the higher points of where the elevation is because there is a hill here. We also were concerned because of the proximity up here to the property. Although this area will not be developed, that is the area that experienced the problems with the bog turtle. So from an environmental standpoint, we did ask for a wildlife study to be done. We noted that that area had a history of found bog turtle, and we asked for the wildlife, and we did not see the wildlife, any type of information about a wildlife study. Our concern isn't just for the bog turtle, because, you know, we understand it. We're really more concerned about the liability the township may experience if this creature is found in that area, and then we haven't done our due diligence to look at that issue. Anything on that?
Well, that is a concern, but I think there are also other concerns regarding public health and welfare and the township's responsibility to follow Article 1, Section 27 of the Pennsylvania State Constitution, which charges state government at all levels with protecting natural resources for the benefit of all people. And we believe that having this 50-foot riparian buffer is not in line with the township's comprehensive plan. It is not in line with an ordinance. It does not support Article 1, Section 27, and it jeopardizes the water quality of Springton Reservoir, which is immediately downstream from this, and provides drinking water for hundreds of thousands of Delaware County residents.
All right, so Cindy, if you could pull up our letter from May, because we do have to submit a new letter that this will be going before planning next month or next week, Steve?
This plan is going before planning next week, yes.
So we have to have our concerns in there. So we did mention already that the 100-foot riparian buffer is chapter 143, and it's 143-311, and that ordinance was imposed on September of 2024, went into effect in October. But also, in addition to our township codes, we also have PA code chapter 102, which calls for a 100-foot riparian buffer. Another point that we mentioned is that if the applicant were to create this hardship. So if, as you recall, in August of 2024, the applicant put in documentation to separate lot 1 on one side and lot 2. So in essence, We believe that he helped create this situation of encompassing this area in his building envelope, that he could have technically removed it because of the nature of that. In addition, we were concerned that in our May 25th letter, we had asked for an NPDES permit. Sheila? Yes, tonight. Sorry, I'm trying to get exact dates on our EAC. When the plan was received on May 25th, and we reviewed it on June 23rd, and we submitted our letter on June 24th. So, sorry, please take that one out of my paycheck. But yes.
I was just very
yeah,
confused.
We brought that up. So our greatest concern is that we do believe this proposed conditional use will deter the effects and cause problems to the safety, compact, convenience, morals, and general welfare of the public, and in particular, the residents of the immediate area, but more importantly, the 250,000 people that are downstream that will be impacted by this water. Another thing that we had asked for, and I mentioned, was the
And Sheila, a lot of these items from the June letter
right.
were also picked up and reiterated in the July letter. Many of them were
Yes.
also mentioned in that.
So we're basically going to be having to send in the revised. Is there anything from that letter that has been accomplished? Because we did ask for the NPDES permit. That's not been obviously supplied yet. We asked for a wildlife study that was not supplied in their letter from August. We asked for the 100-foot repair and buffer, that was not. And I think our greatest concern is a conditional use cannot be approved if it's in conflict with our comprehensive plan. And as you noted, that in our comprehensive plan, this area was identified as our core habitat specifically.
Yes.
And that's a major point.
This is one of 2 areas in the township that have been identified as core habitat.
Right. And, that letter. So we talked about, these are the issues that we noted in our June letter. And if you want to just mention those to see if anything has been.
As you said, we asked that the applicant obtain an NPDES permit. That has not happened yet. We asked for conducting a wildlife impact study. I don't believe that has happened.
No.
We asked for a traffic impact study. That I think they did do that.
I believe that's in progress.
Okay. We also recommended, this is not required, but we recommend conducting a deer cull as part of the development. Our entire community is overrun with starving deer. I have talked to so many people who have experienced more destruction on their property this year than in any time past. And it's not just a matter of inconvenience and financial loss of properties for individuals, but our forests are sustaining just amazing damage. Our forests are being destroyed. There is no new generation of trees coming up because the deer are eating them all. This has been studied at the state level. Also, there is new research emerging about the link between invasive plants and invasive insects. And when you have deer destroying the native habitat, invasives come in, and there is emerging evidence to show that there's a direct correlation between increase in invasive plants, such as, honeysuckle and, barberry and things like that, and ticks, which we know are carrying more and more diseases, and mosquitoes. I mean, we're getting, as climate change comes through, we're getting more and more of these insects that are living more, that are carrying more diseases. And there's, like I said, there's a correlation between them and invasive plants. And if you want to trace it all the way back, you can look at deer overpopulation.
Dave, do you have any comments?
I agree entirely on the proposed pushing of the 100-foot riparian buffer. I think it's a major issue. We have a comprehensive plan for a reason. I think it's pretty cut and dry.
I mean, I hear this. I just want you all to be aware, based on if the determination is that they're under the time frame, there really is nothing that the township can do. And I just want you to be aware of that. I hear you talking about it, and I don't have a problem with you putting it in the letter recommending it, but I need you all to be aware that if it's determined that this application fit within that time frame, then they got it in prior to the actual change of the ordinance. Their initial application piece, even though it wasn't what we see here, it's there's the thought that they fall under what that initial is. And so that's
Is the township pursuing that issue? Because that letter
that's
was,
been being reviewed by
Yes.
the solicitor.
it's been, right,
I think he's feeling like the initial process was taken. And so therefore they're under it. So, but I'm just letting you know that as the township's hands may be tied in what it can do. And so if the township doesn't make the 100-foot happen, I want you to understand this isn't the township ignoring what the new ordinance is. This is an issue of the timing of their submission. And that's the question. And so that's all, I'm happy for you guys to put it in your letter. I think it's a
Yeah.
great recommendation. I just want you to know that it may not be able to be,
I
Forced.
understand it's not I understand that it's not a subjective call on the part of the supervisors, that it's in the hands of the solicitor. I understand that.
okay.
Yeah.
Just because it kept getting brought up, I just wanted to make sure everybody understands where it's coming from. Thank you.
My question would be, like how, in terms of how the law is read, I know you're probably the wrong person to ask. I should ask Rich, but in terms of the way the law is interpreted, I mean, if the plan is substantially different, just because they said we intend to submit plans before you change the ordinance, that is good enough to say they got it in under the timeline?
Yeah, the question is, and is the challenge is part of the reason why the plan is different is because we asked them to make changes. And so they did, some of the changes that are made here are because if they still were under the original plan, I believe it was 17 lots, not 12 lots. And so, or something like that. I'd have to go back and look at the original plan. They did all of that at our recommendation. They took off some places based on that. So if they would have held to the original, you would have had more density and you would have had more encroachment. And so they had the road going all the way through that was actually supposed to be for their point, a road. And we asked them to eliminate that to help have less impact on the wetlands. And so that's the reason why I think they could decide to go back to the original plan and we would be stuck. And we feel like this plan's better than the original plan, if that makes sense.
but I believe they didn't go before the planning commission till May or June.
It doesn't
First time,
matter.
right.
It matters when they submitted the plan.
Right.
It has to do with their original plan they submitted it prior to the law going into effect.
Right.
And the reason why we have this plan instead of that original plan was negotiations between staff based on some comments that you all made to the original plan.
Right.
And we wanted to address some of these environmental issues. That's the reason why I just want you to be aware, our hands may be tied as the township in enforcing the 100-foot as much as we want it. That's the reason why the board made the change. This plan, I know this is not the plan that was submitted at that time, but this plan is a direct change based on what the original plan was, because we felt the original plan was more invasive and this is less invasive.
Well, I appreciate that explanation, Steve, but I would put a little different spin on it. And that is, as I recall, the original plan was, need I say, egregious in its expectations and in disturbing steep slopes, encroaching on wetlands. The applicant was really not adhering, in my memory, to our ordinances, but had developed a plan that was based on the assumption that they would get lots of waivers or conditional uses or whatever it was. Because there was significant, exceeding of disturbance of steep slopes and very steep slopes and encroaching on wetlands. So it's not just the township was negotiating, which you did, and we appreciate that. I think I would cast it more as you were informing the applicant that just because they ask for these things doesn't mean they can expect to get them.
Well,
That the Board of Supervisors is under no obligation to grant exceptions to the ordinances. We have ordinances for a reason.
sure.
Right.
And I don't disagree with that. However, I think to say that this plan, to say that the plan is submitted after, I think could be a challenge. And that's the piece.
But I'll sum it up by saying, because I didn't mean to take us down here. I'll sum it up by saying, should the township have the legal ability
Yes.
to enforce the 100-foot? I suggest they enforce.
Yeah, and I
100
think
foot.
that's fine.
that's- that's what I would
I'm,
recommend.
please understand, I'm not saying you shouldn't.
No,
I just wanted to make sure that if it doesn't happen, I just want everybody to be clear as
That
to
makes
why it may not.
Right, but
makes
also in their they will be go before zoning tonight, let them address their issues there. But they are looking to reduce the sizes of all that, so we can stay out of that. We are focusing on the environmental things. We will craft.
I have
the
two
letter.
other things quickly.
Yes,
So agree on the wildlife impact study. It would be helpful. I agree that there is some potential legal exposure if you think about some of the endangered species and things in that area.
Yes.
It seems like not a large ask to do the wildlife study again, just to make sure that the supervisors understand the risk to the township. And then the last thing I would say is, I understand that the number of trees being removed does not include dead trees
and invasives.
and invasives. With that said, if you remove dead trees, it will still have a marginal impact in reducing soil stability, hardiness of the habitat, and still reduce the ability of the ground to withstand heavy rainfall and to soak up that rain. So it would just be helpful to get a full accounting,
Right.
including the dead trees.
Well, I think also you're going to be on strategic plan and I'm on comprehensive. It's some issues that although we're not necessarily in the Shade Tree Commission board, let them address that, but we can bring that to the township's attention to maybe look at for the future, because other townships do no longer remove ash trees from the equation when they're doing their official counts. But thank you for that input. Anything else? Anyone else, Janet?
No, I'm in
Okay.
total agreement.
Okay, I would add that they did add more detail about the lighting plan, which is important for bird safety and to minimize light pollution. And along the way, they did add they worked with the township arborist, which we appreciate, to discuss the tree removal, the open space, land management. And we appreciate that effort. That is an innovation, which we welcome. I will reiterate a concern I had that I shared at the last meeting, and that is that, well, they did add deer protection because the habitat restoration plan calls for planting whips, which are tiny little trees, which will just be devoured by the deer if they're not properly protected. But my concern, another concern, which I have no solution for, is the fact that the ongoing maintenance and the care
Yes.
of this land is now specifically entrusted to the HOA. This is an HOA of 12 homeowners, which will have limited time, desire, money, knowledge to maintain this newly planted, hopefully restored land. And without that, I have very low hopes that it will survive in any semblance of not being filled with invasives.
And I understand the traffic study we asked, anything else that we asked for, Cindy, that they've already complied with? We did
Yeah.
ask for the invasive plants to be listed. You asked for specific.
There was more detail in
Yes.
the landscape plan. There was a lot more detail, which we do appreciate. I think they did make adjustments in some of the tree species. And also there was an enhancement to the lighting design. And they provided additional detail on that to help protect dark skies and minimize light pollution and to promote bird safety.
The other issue we talked about was there was a few properties that are going to be below the 60,000 square feet requirement that the council passed. Steve, do you know how many that was? I think there's a. Yeah, that's a zoning issue, but we were just wondering, will they be at a point where they can no longer put garages or anything else on their property by the shrinkage happening? Because of the erosion issues in that area, we're just mentioning that as an area of concern. Anything?
I think that if, I'm not sure I'm following the question, because if it's in the building envelope
Right.
that's on the property. Yeah. If let's say the developer comes in and doesn't do it, and then the homeowner wants to go do it
Right.
at a future date, depending on what the impacts are to if it's in a slope or something like that, they may have to come in and ask for zoning relief. But I don't think you can preclude the homeowner from choosing to do that. I'm not sure. That's why I'm trying to make sure
The
I'm.
question is, he's going to be reducing the lot size for some of these properties. And then we're looking at a situation where the building envelope will be, if this applicant, which has the right to go put in a shed or, you know, a patio or some type of extra structure, are they going to be having to come in, and we're creating a hardship by approving the conditional use that will allow them to have to come back in and to get approval on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of hard to say what would happen
Right.
down the road if, as a home, I buy the property as a homeowner and I decide that I want to put a shed in. I may be limited because of what we allow, but if I can go through the process to get it allowed, I don't know that we can stop that. If I'm answering your question, I'm not sure I'm 100% answering it, but I
So-
think I am.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can keep it to what it is in the time of the development, but you're not, this plan doesn't show a house
Right.
with a garage or not a garage.
Right.
The plan just shows, if you look at it, each lot has a buildable area.
Further
And-
down, you will see some landscaping. I think, what page is that, Cindy? The landscaping plans for this?
As long as they're within the,
And that's sheet 11,
But it's
not page
page-
11. So if you look in that corner, you'll see sheet 11.
in the very bottom right-hand corner in
You look
tiny
in that-
print.
yeah. See that in the corner there? So it's, was it 11A or
they have to
11B?
blow it up a little. bit so you see it.
11 was the.
I think that's sheet
overall
2,
plan. It's quite far down into the
it's in
document.
the very, very corner at the bottom.
Well, I hope that
See, that's
zoning
sheet 2.
just doesn't approve their conditional use, which will encourage them to do the right thing and come back with a better plan.
What is it that you wanted to point out?
Let's see if any other on the landscape plans, so you can see if he does have the houses laid out in there.
Yeah, you may have to keep going down.
Yeah, I think it's down.
It's quite
Yeah.
deep
So
in the
so it's not the sheet, it's, yeah, there you go. What's that one?
If you look down here, can you see here, this is sheet? Oh, you can't.
No, it's right there
It's
underneath
further.
that.
3 of 43, okay, so you gotta keep on going down to sheet 11A. That's sheet
7A.
7A. had a better layout of the property on that plan. Yeah. Members, you know that these plans are available in the township if you ever want to go in there and take a look at them.
A hard copy.
The hard copy,
Yeah.
it is helpful to us too, because these individual plans are very hard to look at, especially with that. And that will give you a better indication too of the elevation points for some of these, from the tip of the property down to like number 12. And you see what's behind you there. I guess our biggest issue, Cindy, you were going to add that to the comment letter, is the negative impact that this will serve on the Springton Reservoir, which
Yeah, I believe
addresses-
we already have.
yeah, we have that in there. All right. So Cindy Mahalo will craft a comment letter regarding the new plans that were received on August 25th. And get that in hopefully by 12 o'clock tomorrow for planning commission. Anything else that we need to add to that planning commission comment letter? No? Janet? No. Cindy? No. Okay, so Cindy Mahalo will craft that. Anyone second it? Janet Cabana is seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Cindy. Thank you very much for addressing these issues. They're really important.
Yep, all right. Just making sure.
All right, great. That is it for Village at Four Seasons. We wish them well. We hope they encourage them to do environmental things so that we can have a good development, respectable property rights, but also respect for our residents and the people downstream. All right, item number 8, a rain garden update. Cindy's gonna have to leave shortly, so Cindy, you want to give us anything else?
The rain gardens are doing great.
I saw the award-winning signs. They look fabulous. Up
Oh,
front.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's-
they're doing fine. And Steve, I do intend to send some details and photographs about that debris management method that I had mentioned.
Oh, yes.
before. That won't really be entirely relevant till the spring because we intend to leave most of the plants standing to provide cover for the insects and food for the birds through the winter.
Okay.
That's great. All right. Item 8.2, Bird Count Update, Janet.
Yes,
All
well,
your
we're all
information.
set for our October the 11th bird walk at Garrett Williamson in concert with CRC, who will be collecting the people who are signing up for that event. And so this year's topic has been shared communities, shared cities and communities with birds, so that we understand that we don't live here alone, that we need to support our wildlife as well. With that in mind, at Cindy's walking through Ridley Creek Park, you ran across a sign which is for the important bird area, right? And you did address that signage with, I think, George and also with Steve and with me too. All right, so if you don't mind. I'll take it.
No, what Janet's referring to is Ridley Creek has a sign, a nice metal sign that states that it is located with an important bird area. Important bird areas are designated areas of habitat designated by, I guess, the State Audubon Society, nothing we have anything to do with. And I thought, well, I know that there are other places in Newtown Township that are part of the same IBA. And so I looked it up, and sure enough, there are a number of areas within the township, including Newtown Meadow Preserve, Drexel Lodge Park, things like that, that are within the IBA. And I thought that would be great to just inform residents. This is sensitive habitat. This is precious land that we're paving over.
All right, so then the process of getting the signs is what I began working on. And as Cindy said, we are in the Upper Ridley Cronk Important Bird Area, which includes Ridley Creek State Park, Tyler Arboretum, and a vast expanse of primarily private land north of Route 3. I know you probably can't see it from
Yeah,
there,
we're-
but this is the Ridley Crum Creek important bird area, which goes almost up to Lancaster Avenue and over to Radnor Township here. And this is Westchester Pike that cuts through here. So our meadow is certainly in there. The question was whether or not, and by the way, the township on their website details that that the meadow is as being an important bird area when the meadow was established in 2017. So the township already recognizes that it is an important bird area. The question was whether or not we can get signage for that. So I reached out to my contacts within Birdtown Board as well as with Valley Forge Audubon and Val Peckham, who works directly with Audubon. She directed me to Zachary Hosnick, who works presently at Audubon. I asked, sent a detailed letter asking whether or not we could get one of these signs. And he said he would have to check. And just on the 15th, after he got back to me that the signs are available through Voss Signage. And so I reached out to them, and on the 15th, I got a reply that the signage would be available to us, but we would have to order them through our local Audubon chapter. Each sign is worth, it costs $41.95. I said we wanted 4 because we have other parks that would be allowed to have a sign, because Zach got back to me and said as long as those parks are within the borders of the IBA that's been established, that we could get signs for all of them. So with that information, I reached out to Voss Signage, and that's when she told me that there was $41.95. I'm sure I can have the Audubon local chapter, Valley Forge Audubon, okay, are getting these signs.
So they
But I
will pay
w-
for them?
No, I don't think they will pay
Okay,
for them. They
okay.
will, so, we have to figure out how they can send them to us, but it has to go through the Valley Forge Audubon chapter, because
Right.
that's where we are located. So basically what I'm asking is, does the committee want me to pursue further this opportunity to get these signs?
Well, it would be, I mean, from the EAC's perspective, I could see all of us would be supportive, but I don't know if this is something that Board of Supervisors would want to weigh in on, just if there want signs in their parks, just acknowledging that this is an important bird area.
Yeah, I think that it probably wouldn't hurt for one of you to contact a couple of the board members and just see, what their
Yeah.
Okay,
input is on that. Or, I mean, I think you could do a memo to them and I could share it with them, and that would be another way to do that.
And if they agree with that, then for next month, we'll have to put that on the agenda as an expense, and we have to vote
Okay.
and approve it.
all right.
But I would say that a motion was made that we support Janet in this initiative of getting this area identified as an important bird area and having her continue on that.
And
Of
getting the
course,
signage.
Getting the signage.
Yes.
But we would have to legally, we can't do the signage, approve that tonight till the supervisors approve that. But the motion was made by Sheila O'Sullivan Feeney, seconded by Joe Pinto, that Janet will continue on this path and hopefully get approval from the supervisors. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion stands. Awesome. All right, item number 9, and we do note that Cindy Mahalo will have to leave. She is representing the EAC this evening at the Aronimink function with Business Association. So good luck, Cindy, and I'm sure you'll do us very proud with your efforts.
Thank you.
Okay, new business, item number 9.1, discuss the possible action on approving EAC and Shade Tree's budgeted funds of $6,000 for the 2025 Fall Street Tree Program. As you know, EAC working with Shade Tree, we are focusing on the area of Fox's Run, which is part of the Darby Creek Valley Association. This year, we're focusing on Ashley Road. We will probably have roughly 36 trees for the 6,000. We've begun. Individual residents have received their flyers. We already have 4 residents that have, accepted to tree so far, and we're gonna coordinate that for Friday. On November the 7th is the planting day, and November 8th is the actual planting. So I want to put forth a motion for us to approve the EAC budget of bonds of $6,000 to help pay for the trees. Motion was made by Dave Galush, seconded by Janet Cabanas. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion stands. And I will get you more information on that. It's a really important program. And thank you, Steve, for the township for their support on that. And we will, actually, I've been going door to door to make sure every resident is encouraged, because this is a limited time offer, and the order for the trees by next Friday. Item number 9.2, discussion of possible action on proposed goals. Dave, did you get a chance to, you were gonna just refresh the goals from last month?
Yeah, I just need everyone to, I'll send out
Okay.
the refresh
We already discussed.
copy and
them.
then you guys can,
We
yeah,
might just add that to a continuing, because I can't approve them until everyone has seen them,
right.
in case you're asking for something
Mhm,
that's not appropriate.
mhm.
All right, number 9.3, discussion possible action on budget ideas. Cindy and I spoke about a couple things. We wanted to really see if there was interest from the supervisors. Steve, is there anything in particular that the supervisors would like us to focus on? Because we want to make sure that our budget goals for 2026 align with what they would like.
Yeah, I think. Hold on, my mic's now on. Yeah, I think that they're hoping to set up a meeting with you to kind of talk about that.
Okay.
I'm trying to work through that. And so my guess is you'll be seeing a request for that meeting coming up shortly.
I know that we talked about identifying the watershed and kind of making the connects for people to understand how we're all interconnected to our environment. So respecting our waters, respecting our environment is all aligned with our goals to stay healthy and alive. So we will wait on the budget ideas until Steve gets back to me, and then we can sit down and finalize with the supervisors. Item number 9.
So just out of curiosity, would the signage perhaps be part of the budget, could be part of the budget for 2026, the signs, the IBA?
Yeah, I think probably. I mean, I don't know that we have the money in this year's budget, but we'll,
Oh, this would be about $200.
okay.
Okay.
So in terms of old business, I'm sorry, number 9.4, discussion of possible actions for our EA newsletter for content for the e-newsletter. Been a great article Dave has submitted. I'm going to be doing an article on compost and encouraging residents
Oh,
to do
good.
that.
Very good.
And I'm going to kind of just give a simple walkthrough. Janet, will you think you'll have anything for the e-newsletter?
I'll see if there's anything more for kids.
Would love that, right?
Okay.
Also too, Joe,
Yes.
would you like to, and especially with your family, think about creating an article that incorporates natural ways to decorate for the holiday season? So sustainable practices so that you can decorate. So instead of just buying chrysanthemums, maybe you use cones and clay and natural things and, burlap and things of that nature, instead of us filling our homes up with plastic, balloons and all that stuff, decorative stuff. So if you focus on that, that might be a nice little touch that we can go into the fall with. So how can we be more sustainable with our holiday decorating? Get that?
Got it.
Yeah, awesome. All right, and Cindy, oh, yes, you know what, we will, pumpkin, that's a great idea, pumpkin. Janet, can you reach out to Garrett Williamson? to
Sure.
see if they are gonna do that? And if
Sure.
we could get that graphic, by our deadline, that would be really helpful.
Okay.
Because that would be awesome. Anything else? Before we get into, one thing on old business, EAC did receive notification that the We Conserve PA fall gathering will be on, November 15th. So Steve, we haven't got the official documentation and the link yet for registration, but we have funds for, the EAC members to attend that. And thankfully, we will be able to attend the November 15th planting event. So that's just something, and I didn't know if, Mary would be interested in some of those.
Let her know.
Yeah.
I'll let her know.
Yes, I will let her know.
What are the dates?
All right, good stuff. As you can see, Joe's ready to rock and roll. Okay, so October agenda items will be due Sunday, October 5th at 8 a.m. Our October e-newsletter content will be due on Sunday, October 12th at 8 a.m. It's different this month. Note the difference, please. Our next EAC meeting will be held on Thursday, October 16th at 5:30 p.m. And any items for the next agenda? Bennett?
I don't think so.
Joe? Okay, okay, public comment, any public comment related to anything environmental? Oh, please. Yes, please. Just give your name and address, please, and we're grateful that you're here.
Did he
Oh.
turn on his,
Yes,
Yes, so my name's Chris Ambrogi. I moved into 210 Bellflower Lane in Marple Township about a year ago.
okay.
Um,
Well, you know, this is Newtown and we can't regulate or control anything that Marple does.
right,
Okay.
no issues with Marple. I just have issues with lot number 3 in particular on the plans.
Okay, so we are on the Environmental Advisory Council.
Yeah.
I know that this
I'm-
week goes before zoning. I just wanted to,
I'm
So you
just
know
talking
that-
about the environmental.
Awesome.
What I think will be impacted.
okay,
The stream that's depicted on the plans is extremely close to,
Tim, can you pull that up? All right, so lot number 3,
yeah. So it's directly on my back property line there. I can come.
bottom left. Oh, right here.
No, I'm sorry.
Right here.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
right there.
Yes.
And if, as you can see, there's a driveway that runs across my back property line.
Oh, wow.
And then this is not just wetlands, it's an actual running stream.
Yes.
So I just wanted to bring kind of attention to that and just bring attention to that, the riparian buffer, I hope would be maintained. I don't know if it's supposed to be 50 or 100, but I do think that the house there will definitely impact that buffer.
Great.
And I do want to say that there's abundant wildlife back there. I stare out my back window all the time. There's dozens of deer at any time. There's foxes and there's turtles as well. My son has found several turtles in our yard.
Oh,
So
any bog turtles?
I don't know what the difference is. If
Oh,
the box
believe
turtle
me,
or-
if you have a bog turtle, you'll know. It's a
Uh,
small little creature. It's endangered. It's on a list that would be,
So I don't know if it's that, but
Okay.
they're definitely turtles.
okay.
And I just want to bring attention. I think that lot in particular will impact that
Thank
stream.
you. What we've done is we've noted our concern and we of course are also asking for 100-foot riparian buffer.
Sure.
We're limited by what the legal recourse for the applicant has and when they put in the application. So that is being addressed, but we share your concerns, especially for the environment and for all those issues. But we encourage you to share your your concerns with your neighbors and other
I
individuals.
will do, and I'm attending the zoning meeting.
Oh, okay, great. Well, great.
All right, thank you.
All right. Anything else on public comment? Oh. Okay. Oh. You're,
comparing the pictures of turtles. I have turtles in my yard as well.
Oh my God.
I know it's a bog turtle.
if it's a bog turtle,
look them up, look them up.
okay.
Pictures I've seen are not.
Okay,
They're
I
too
haven't
big.
seen any pictures, so,
The bog turtles are pretty small.
yeah, bog turtle is about this small and he has an orange little head and he's a wee little thing. Well, listen, but do you have any comments that you need to make for the EAC so we can close out this meeting? All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you very much for everyone for attending.